how do you personally stay grounded? Like, what is a thing Samy Sam does?
I think Samy Sam does. First, I'm surrounded by love. Love is super grounding.
Everyone follow you on social media because it's so contagious, and you just wake up and you're like, today's the best day ever. Like, and I think it's every day that you're. What is one like tip or daily ritual that you can give our audience that they could like start practicing today that will really shift them, you know, if they're spiraling or going down a rabbit hole, like what can really pull them out of that?
Thank you very much for this question. It comes more often, and I love.
Welcome back to another episode of Blissful Beings. I'm so happy to have Samy Sam here with us today. Do you mind kind of introducing yourself to our audience?
Hey, Janine, thank you very much for having me. I'm super excited to be here today, guys. I am Samy Sam. I'm a soul living a unique experience on this earth. I was born in Banja, a small village in West Africa, in the country called Cameroon. I grew up in France. I was schooled in between Switzerland, Spain, the US, the UK. I worked in multiple different industries because I'm a creative being. I don't feel like I work, I feel like I create constantly. And I've been creating in the tech space. I've been creating a book called Positive Focus, My Philosophy of Life. I've been building architectures and systems that elevate humanity and that remove frictions from human beings so they can live in flow. And that has been my mission in this universe, to engineer abundance for all of us.
I love that. And I highly recommend everyone follow you on social media because it's so contagious, and you just wake up and you're like, today's the best day ever. Like, and I think it's every day that you're stating that. So I'm just curious, Samy, like, have you always been this positive ball of energy, or was there like a turning point for you where you're like, okay, I realize like I choose this, like I get to wake up and like choose this perspective? Like, what was that for you, or were you just born positive?
I'm not gonna lie, because I know people become positive, but personally, I feel like I'm Obelix. Like I fell into it when I was, when I was born, my soul came into this universe with that mission that I carry. And one of the gifts God gave me to come here was the light. And He gave me the light and the positivity and the kindness. However, all this light and energy when I was a kid was channeled towards creating chaos. So being disturbing at school, making my mom being in weird positions because she had to defend me, all these kind of situations that were creating a lot of chaos. And by facing, and I tell it in my book, by facing moment where the person I love the most, the person that's my first superhero, my mother, being taken into these rooms and being called out of her work and be like, hey, you have to travel across the world because your kid is being naughty, and you have to sit in the middle of this ballroom where 10, 15 professors that you don't really even respect, you look at them and they're judging someone that you love so much because of your actions. It puts you back in reality and in like, hey, my actions have consequences, and it's not about me suffering from them. It's also someone that I love so much. So that, I think, was my first awakening in life, where I said, it's so amazing the light that you were given and the positivity and stuff, but you have to channel it somewhere that uplifts at least yourself, at most your family, and at best the universe. So that was the first one. And then so many other times in my life, I've been punched, I bodily injured, no matter what, business failures. I just decided every single time, and God and the universe reminded me that I'm not the events of my life I'm going through, I'm the light within. Because when I strip you down to the bottom of your core, through your group of friends, through job titles, to the school you went through all of these entities and agenda that we attach, anchor ourselves upon. But when the universe strip them down to you and make you go through ego death, what is left is the beautiful soul that you are. So to come back to the questions, I was born into it, but life has kept reminding me through challenge, through facing my darknesses, what was my light made of. So yeah, it's a mix of both.
I love that. Such a good answer. So I know you wrote the book Positive Focus, and it's all about like shifting your focus to the positive. So what is one like tip or daily ritual that you can give our audience that they could like start practicing today that will really shift them, you know, if they're spiraling or going down a rabbit hole, like what can really pull them out of that?
Thank you very much for this question. It comes more often, and I love answering to this because I feel like I have to tell the truth to people. The most meaningful habit you can incorporate in your life today that will drive the most value, I call it positive solitude. Aloneness is by literally counting the hours on your day and saying 20, 30, 40, 50% of my day I have to be alone. It will be the most energizing and cleansing experience. Why? It's because when you're alone, you're not clouded by the word and the noise and everybody else's problem. And alone means don't go on social media. Literally sit out there, be with you, be with your soul, be with your mind. Because what happens when you create the emptiness in your life is that your soul, your energetic field will recalibrate itself to its natural state of vibrations. And all of that will create and remind you who you are, because we all came here to be of service. But because we are feeling constantly the pain and the fear and the anxiety that this entire society is constantly in, we forget because we succumb to the fear, we succumb to the stress. But when you are alone, you receive downloads. That's why I'm the most creative, because I'm not by myself. I can hear my thought. I can capture the signal of my vibration. So aloneness, as I call it, positive solitude, is when you find yourself again. So I really encourage people to find themselves.
You're so amazing and so inspiring. It's just so funny because like I feel like you should have millions of people that are like following you, and like to even get you to be on this podcast, I was like just so happy because you're just so, I don't want to say what, I don't want to use the word woke, but like so conscious, like so intelligent in the conscious world. So I hope everyone kind of takes tips and tricks and reads your book. Where can people find your book, by the way?
On Amazon, they can go, and we certainly put the link on the podcast, Positive Focus, My Philosophy of Life. And I have to say something. So when I wrote it, it was such an amazing phase of my life because I used to own a management business, and I felt such a deep dissonance within, and it was fading at the same time. So I went through the big ego death of losing my first company, which was a mega success at the day. So imagine you are 24, and I studied in all these beautiful universities. I'm like that poster child, you know. I was blessed to follow that path, and I followed such a high success, and I was hanging out with all the celebrities you can imagine, going to all the fashion week, all these worldwide events. So I had so much noise around me. The noise was so big and so draining and so pulsating. But when I lost it all, I realized that was the biggest blessing God could have ever gave me. It was a cleansing experience. I was so empowered by finding me feeling like me, because I could never understand how come I go to this university and I go to that path and I go to that work and I hang out with this group of friends and I do all these things, but I feel less of me. How can I feel depleted? Mm-hmm. How can I feel like I'm living a life that I have to wear a mask 24/7? And all these questions came back to the one existential question: who am I? So God looked at me and said, I'm going to strip you to all of this. I'm going to break your body where you have to sit in stillness.
Yeah.
Achilles tear, right foot, Achilles tear, 24 months I couldn't move with a ball of energy like me. I was like, how can I not move? And when I finally heard my voice, I'm like, because I'm here right now to hear the mission that God and the universe has placed upon my life before I was born, to be of service. And that was the most beautiful, beautiful moment. And the start of that transformation was my book, because I sat for 2 weeks, and when I was at Coachella with all my team, people were saying all these things. I felt a dissonance. I was sitting there, and I would come back to the parties, and I would write, and we were partying, and I would write, and the book just came out of me in 2 weeks. And it was a book about my 28,
Wow.
29 years in this universe. And because I was chasing all these years, I was chasing to be, I was chasing to become, I was chasing these external factors. And that was from 0 to 30. I've been in the chase. And at 30, 31 to now, I just realized that I don't have to chase anything. All I have is to be.
Yeah.
So I went from running to flowing. And that was such a beautiful, death was
I
my
love it.
liberation.
This is why I feel like I've met you before in my life, because like we have such a similar story. And like from 0 to 30 years old, like I was in the party scene. I was also a bottle waitress in New York City. I'd go to Ibiza, party in London, party in New York, party in Miami, and we've probably crossed paths before.
For sure.
Some party.
For sure.
But then it just hits kind of a point where you're like, I'm not going to live my life like this anymore. I'm going to totally, be my authentic self. And now I'm running a finance company. My whole office is pink. I'm like woman owned, so I just shed my unique ability out with the world and attract that way.
Amen.
But I am going to curve to the creative app. And I want to just know, like, what kind of gap did you see within the community that you were like, this needs to get created? Like, what was that point for you?
First is just the democratization of access to making money on social media. I think because they have gate kept a bit, like, when you are really into the industry, you realize that a lot of the influencer and social media deals, you have a marketing manager at a brand who just pick her friends. Pick the group of friends. Hey, this person I know, this influencer, because she lives next to me in my city, I pick them. So it's not even based on how actually good you are creating content. And I was like, if I create a platform, because I came from owning an agency, so I knew exactly how this entire industry operated. And my specialty in life is to build systems. So I can build systems for industries, companies, governments, and that's my main job. And so I will realize, oh my God, I can build a system that is basically taking an influencer from post on social media to cash in their bank. I can build a bank, and I built every single step, every single flow that can democratize, because the future of the world is with AI, where everyone will lose their job. They won't find it back. So you have to empower people with solutions where they can still generate income from their own art, from their own creativity, from their own voice. And social media is that place. It's that place where you can be yourself, where you can express yourself, when you can find people who have resonance with what you say. And I was like, oh, if I'm able to build a system that democratizes this access, that give access to more people to make money through their voice on social media, I guess it's a beautiful endeavor to get into, and I did.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So as you are balancing, creativity, AI, tech, and also living life with like purpose and your intention, how do you personally stay grounded? Like, what is a thing Samy Sam does?
I think Samy Sam does. First, I'm surrounded by love. Love is super grounding, but deep love that sees you. So when you remove the mask, who are you? I'm surrounded by, I always say my day is 60% alone, 30% surrounded by love, and 10% people. And love, I mean literally my family, my immediate family, my fiance, and my best friends, and I don't deviate to that because they recenter me back, and that really helps me, just live a peaceful, energizing, thriving, exciting, and fulfilling life. Because I have specific categories where I want to feed and I want to get fed from. Anything else, I don't. I don't even watch people's stories, like, because I get into their FOMO. I want to live their lives. But there is not such a thing. There is no life better than yours, as J. Cole was saying.
So I talked about your social media a lot. So where I want to drop links, of course. So where can people connect with you and follow your journey?
I am Samy Sam. I am Samy Sam. I am Sam. It literally sounds like a character movie in the making. So come follow the story. I used to not want to share much on social media because of business entanglement and investors looking at you a weird way. Now I feel like I've shared all of that, and I'm ready I want just to share positivity, love, and kindness to the world. I want to tell people
As you are.
it's not that hard. Just smile at life. Life is smiling back at you.
Awesome. Thank you for being on this episode of Blissful Beings. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel for more.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.